How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just wanted to come on here for a while and give him a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dark from last night, which was November 1st, 2022. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was Danhausen versus John Cruz. That was a great match. But the ending to it, Danhausen went over with the lifting DDT. Match 2, it was the Embassy, which are Brian Cage, Toa Leona, and Khan, versus Fuego del Sol and Waves and Curls, which are Jalen Brandon and Trayvon Jordan. That was a great match. But the ending to it, the Embassy went over because Brian Cage pinned Jalen Brandon with an assisted powerbomb from Toa Leona, Khan, and Brian Cage. Match 3, it was Nyla Rose versus Leva Bates. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Nyla Rose went over with the Beast Bomb. Now, before the match, as the Beasts of Burdens, which are Vicky Guerrero, Nyla Rose, and Marina Shafir came out, Vicky Guerrero got on the microphone and said her signature line, "Excuse me," and then Nyla Rose was talking about then Nyla Rose took the microphone and talked about how she was the TBS Women's Champion and everything, and talked about how she was issuing an open challenge to anyone for the TBS Women's title since they're in the Mohegan Sun and everything. And as Nyla Rose issued the challenge, Leva Bates came out and accepted the challenge and everything. And then, and everything. That was cool. Match 4, it was Dante Martin versus Encore. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Dante Martin went over with the Uranagi. Match 5, it was Tony Storm versus Diamante in an interim AEW Women's title eliminator match. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Tony Storm went over with the Texas Cloverleaf. Match 6, it was the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and Orange Cassidy, versus the Trust Busters, which are Ari Daivari, Sonny Kiss, and Tony Deppen. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Best Friends went over cause Trent Beretta pinned Tony Deppen with the double chokeslam powerbomb combination from Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and Orange Cassidy. Now, before the match, as the Trust Busters, which are Ari Daivari, Sonny Kiss, and Tony Deppen, came out, Ari Daivari got on the microphone and named Tony Deppen an honorary member of the Trust Busters and said, "Tony, if you can help me win this match, you will become a permanent member of the Trust Busters," and everything. That was cool. And after the match, Ari Daivari was pissed off Ari Daivari got in the ring and was pissed off and started yelling at Tony Deppen for losing the match, and then Tony Deppen shoved Ari Daivari away, and Orange Cassidy attacked Ari Daivari with the orange punch and laid him out, and then the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and Orange Cassidy, done their signature celebration of you got to give people what they want and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. It was before the match and after the match, by the way. Both things. Okay. Match 7, it was Kip Sabian versus Dean Alexander. That was a great match. But the ending to it, Kip Sabian went over with the Anarchist Suplex. Match 8, it was Marina Shafir versus Kennedy Copeland. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Marina Shafir went over with the guillotine choke. And match 9, which was the main event, it was Ray Phoenix versus AR Fox. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Ray Phoenix went over with the Black Fire Driver. That was match 9 and the main event, by the way. Now, there were no promos or segments throughout this episode of All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dark. So, besides the matches, Taz and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. The referees for the event were Mike Posey, Paul Turner, Stephon Smith, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Danhausen versus John Cruz. Paul Turner refereed the match between The Embassy versus Fuego del Sol and Waves and Curls. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Nyla Rose versus Leva Bates. Stephon Smith refereed the match between Dante Martin versus Encore. Paul Turner refereed the match between Tony Storm versus Diamante in an interim AEW Women's Title Eliminator match. Mike Posey refereed the match between the Best Friends versus the Trust Busters. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Kip Sabian versus Dean Alexander. Stephon Smith refereed the match between Marina Shafir versus Kennedy Copeland. And Mike Posey refereed the match between Ray Phoenix versus AR Fox. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now, and now the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite tonight. It's going to be Orange Cassidy versus Ray Phoenix versus Luchasaurus in a 3-way match for the AEW All-Atlantic title. Jade Cargill versus Marina Shafir for the TBS Women's title. Chris Jericho versus a former Ring of Honor champion for the Ring of Honor World title. Samoa Joe versus Brian Cage for the Ring of Honor television title. Jay Lethal versus Darby Allin. And Jon Moxley versus Lee Moriarty in an AEW title eliminator match. So besides the matches, the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, will be throwing a birthday bash for Billy Gunn, and Renee Paquette will be conducting a sit-down interview with Saraya and Britt Baker. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite for tonight looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give my review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dark Elevation from last night, which was, excuse me. So, but anyway, excuse me. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give my review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dark from last night, which was November 1st, 2022. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your fucking ass down the goddamn road. Peace out.